Gameover86, guys, coming back with another video today, Wednesday video. I'm going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch online service, what I think is good about it, what I think is bad about it, some of the shit they need to fix, some of the stuff that they're just behind on like normal, and I'm going to dive right into this, guys. So let's go ahead and just get started, and let's get this video going. I just want to say that the Nintendo Switch service, to me personally, is a waste of money, and I'll give you reasons why. And if you guys want to debate, if you guys want to leave me comments at the end of the video, please do. I read them all. If I don't get back to you, just know that I read them. I can't message y'all all the time because I'm doing these videos, so just please leave me a comment down below. If you guys are Nintendo fanboys and you get, a little butthurt about it, that's okay. Don't be offended. I'm just saying what they need to fix. I love Nintendo too, but this to me is just bullshit. They're trying to just pull money from people because they realized PlayStation and Xbox have been doing it for years, so they might as well jump into it. So let's go ahead and start off. First off, the biggest thing is the voice chat thing. That is kind of ridiculous. Hell, even the free-to-play games, if you guys just want to play Fortnite and not even pay for the service, you can do that and just voice chat by plugging in your mic. You don't have to go through the phone app to play like on Splatoon and all that stuff, which, by the way, has cheaters, and they're not fixing. So that's another problem. That's a lot of the reason why they decided not to do cloud saves with some of their games, because there's cheaters on there, and they feel like, you know what, we're not going to mess with the cheaters. We want you guys that are paying their hard-earned money. Obviously, we don't want you guys here for the long run. We don't want to make the game back, to where you guys can cheat. It's funny how I pay for the game, I pay for the service, and now you're telling me that I can't do it because you don't want me to cheat. But yet you want me to pay for the game, pay for the console, pay for the service, and that's ridiculous. Shame on you, Nintendo, for doing that. That is just dumb, in my opinion. I love Nintendo, but some of the stuff they're doing is just dumb. And a lot of people are defending them on YouTube, saying, oh, this is what they got to do. Oh, we got to give them the $20, and then eventually they'll be able to put more money to it. They announced this thing a long time ago. I understand they give us free games, and then people say, well, they've given you free service. Are you kidding me? PC's been doing it for years. I don't have to pay a service to play any of their games. I buy the game, I have my PC, and I get to play it. So all the Nintendo fanboys, before you even start saying, well, PlayStation's wrong for doing it, so is Xbox. Everybody that's trying to charge you a service to get discounts on games, and they're $20 even cheaper on Steam, don't even say, oh, I should pay for a game for $60. I should pay for the console, and now I got to pay you just to play the game online. That's stupid. Nintendo, that's stupid. I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, we have to give them money so they can save this money back to make their platform or their service a lot better. Are you kidding me? I got to give Nintendo money to make their platform better or their service better? They should already have that stuff better. They've had a year and a half practically since they announced the Switch back in March. Or when they released the Switch back in March, they said it was going to be free, and then they were going to release it earlier that year. And they never did. And then they postponed it to the next part. And then they did, and now they're just now releasing it. And it's funny because a lot of people that just played Splatoon 2 or Mario Kart or some of the other games on there that had some online features, now if you want to just play it to have fun, you got to pay them $20 service just to play the same thing you were playing for free for the last year and a half. And I understand, they're behind the 8 ball. If they don't even let you gameplay save, I already went through that in the voice chat. But here's the other thing, and a lot of people were dogging the PlayStation Classic and saying, oh, Sony's copying Nintendo and all that. Sony don't release PlayStation Network and then give you PlayStation 1 games, 10 of them, and then they're like, we're going to keep releasing PlayStation 1 games. And if they did that, it would probably be better anyway, because not a lot of kids out there that are buying these Nintendo Switches, and I know a lot of people, I got in an argument on Twitter about this guy that's like, oh, Nintendo don't just target, most 19 and 24-year-olds buy the Switches. Yeah, well, most 19 to 24-year-olds don't really care about if Pokemon's on the base of the Switch, or, oh, my Joy-Cons have to be green or yellow. Like, grown adults don't give a shit, but that attracts kids, and they're like, oh, I want a Pokeball. Oh, I want all these amiibos to sit on here. I want all this plushies and stuff, which is fine. That's fine. I don't mind that. But don't sit there and tell me they don't target kids. That's the first thing they do. They consider themselves family-friendly console. That's why they've never gotten mature video games most of the time, and if they do, it's a rarity. No pun intended with rare. We want you back with Nintendo. You would make great games. By the way, Xbox, why don't you just let Nintendo, have that, and they can make their Nintendo 64 Classic. That's for another time, though, another video. Let me get back onto it, though. They release NES games. Like, and I said this before, and I've said this on Twitter. Like, I don't get it. You guys are jacked for NES games? Most of the people that are playing these games that are 19 to 24 years old weren't even around when these games came out. So that guy making that comment saying, oh, it's great, or they don't jip you like Sony does, all companies jip you. All companies jip you. You wanna not jip us? Make us pay $20, I guess, since we have to pay anyway for this service, even though we already paid for the game and the Switch and my internet. You don't pay my internet bill. But, I mean, now I have to pay you a service just to put it on your laggy service system where there's still hackers, there's still glitches, there's still mess-ups, by the way. So when you pay for a service, it's like me going to, install a cable line. Okay? You pay for a service, and I don't even dig and bury the line. I just leave, well, sorry, it's not in my contract. But that's stupid. You don't pay somebody to install a satellite dish and then just lay it out in your yard. You don't pay for an internet service or a subscription service from a platform of your choice like Nintendo when they've had time. I get it if they were just talking about it recently, but they've had a year and a half to kind of work the kinks out, and all they're going to release us is 10 NES games that suck complete dick. I mean, not all of them are garbage, but come on, let's face it. You're not going to sit there and play... You didn't buy a Nintendo Switch to play Zelda. You did not pay $300 to play, I want to play Zelda on the NES. Like, no one cares. I understand no one cares. But when you guys say, oh, no one cares, I care. I didn't get to play these games back in the day. That's fine, but you're not going to spend 25 hours playing these games. And then they make it to where you have to log on and you have to keep playing. Log in so where you can keep your NES games. It's funny, I give you $20 for the whole year, and you're going to take my games away if I, don't have internet for a little while. Oh, sorry, thanks for your money. Sony and Xbox don't even do that stuff. And that is one of the biggest reasons why Nintendo, in my opinion, is one of the biggest anti-consumer companies. And they have been for years. And I'm not attacking Nintendo. Hell, I've bought a lot of stuff. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that you're going to sell me these things right up here that I'm pointing at, NES Classic Mini and a Super NES Classic Mini for $60 and $80 that I paid for, that I have a bunch of games for that I already own on a regular Super Nintendo and an NES. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Nobody believe? I'll knock stuff off my counter because I'm getting fired up. Look. Let me get my blanket out of the way real quick. Look at that. I got a Super Nintendo right there. Hell, all that stuff along the back. I got all that stuff. These are all my classics, all hooked up. Look, you even see yourself on there. All that stuff's hooked up. All that stuff over here. I'll show you. I got all the game consoles, all this stuff, all these games. And I knocked all that shit off, and I don't care. Because I've paid hard-earned money for my stuff. And I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining. To an extent, I'm just wanting everybody to understand that when you sit there and you tell me one thing about how I got to pay for a service, and you give us games after you just released this with 90%, I guarantee, even the people that own NES games, you think they're all going to just transfer them over, copy them over. I'm going to save the ROM on it. I'm going to save the ROM on this emulator. I have all 897. No, you don't. But you're going to sit there and tell me after you sold that and then resold it that we want NES games on our service? You know what we want? We want Nintendo GameCube games. And I said this before, if my video would ever get watched by people out there that have voices, because you don't hear any of the Nintendo fanboys talking about this. Why don't you release a Super Smash Brothers? And I'll be the first YouTuber to say this, guys, and I want you guys to just storm Twitter and everybody else in the comments when they say this. I want you guys to. Mark my words. When Super Smash goes up, the servers will run slow, everything will be messed up, and they'll be like, well, we didn't anticipate this big of everybody trying to jump on, because they were like that when they first released. How do you not anticipate this a year and a half later when you were talking about your service? I love that. It's like the Call of Duty thing. The new Call of Duty comes out and then their servers are all slow and crashing because we didn't anticipate having 4 million people all play at the same time at one night. You didn't expect one of the biggest first-person shooting franchise games to have that many people on there. That's what's laughable to me, is they'll make that excuse. We didn't anticipate everybody to buy Smash. Oh, yeah, no, you didn't. You just made 14 directs over it and bored us with how many characters in each thing they do. But you didn't anticipate all them people buying that game and playing it. We made bundles of it, and we're We're making our dock holder with all that stuff. But you didn't anticipate it, right? Mark my words, they're going to have it all messed up. That's why I said, why don't you release? I mean, I've only been marketing for 7 years, like I know anything, right? But why wouldn't you release Super Smash Melee and just bring it over? Kind of like what you did with the NES garbage games that nobody really wants anyway. I mean, some of the fanboys out there and some of the old school people like myself played them, but like I don't want them now. I've owned them like 4 times over. How many times can you give us a Mega Man game that's not been on every console from 1996 and up? Like, I love Mega Man, but like, come on. You're just now giving us Mega Man 11? Thanks. The point I'm saying is you can release Super Smash Bros. Melee and then test the server strength out, because a lot of people would jump on Super Smash Bros. Melee to play the online service because it's still one of the biggest games right now that GameCube that people play to this day, and they even stream. And that way you could test the server, so you don't have to use that excuse, oh, we didn't anticipate how many people were going to jump on. So that's one thing I had to rant a little bit about, and I do apologize. Let me rewind a little bit though. It's not that they're giving us NES titles for $20. It's not that they're giving us a chat app for $20. It's not that they're giving us a cloud-based save data that we have to pay for when it should be just backed up no matter what. But if we anticipate and we get rid of our service, then we don't have it, and then it gets deleted after a week or so from what somebody said. It's not all that. It's everything concluded to this point that they knew what the service was going to have. They knew a year and a half ago when they announced that they were going to have a Nintendo service for the Switch. Why would you give us all this other stuff? Why? You don't see that with other companies. And that is why I said they're the most anti-consumer friendly company, because they just are. They like, okay, and I'm gonna leave it at this, and I want to know down in the comments, and this is why I think the Nintendo Switch service right now is not worth $20. A lot of people say, oh, it's worth $20. A lot of people say, oh, this is that, oh, this is great. People will be defending it, and a lot of times, like, stop defending a company that doesn't give a shit about you. I'm tired of hearing these people defend companies till the day they die. You don't go out and defend, you know, clothing labels, do you? I wear Adidas, you wear Nike. I mean, who gives a shit? I use Tide, I use Gain, I use Bleach. Like people argue over the stupidest shit. Quit defending companies. They don't give a shit about you. They haven't. Okay? If they did, and I'm going to end it with 2 things. If they did give a shit about you, Nintendo, I can get a Raspberry Pi for $34. Hell, I can emulate all that shit. I could 3D print me a Nintendo Little Mini Classic, put all the games on there from Hack-Chi or wherever. Hell, that's $30 less. And you only gave us 1 remote with that one. Then the Super Nintendo, that's all it is. The Raspberry Pi surrounded by Nintendo plastic. That's all it is. That's all it is. You're paying for emulated games that are on PC for the last 35 years. And now you're paying for a service on Switch that are old games that have been played on Nintendo and Super Nintendo and redone on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and classics. And it's like, enough's enough. I understand, but give us games that are hard, very hard to come by, or expensive. You know? There's a lot of GameCube games that are so outrageously expensive, and you ain't got a classic for it. A lot of them are hard to emulate. Give us some of them games and bring them over to the service. You got rights to them. You got a lot of the rights still held up. I don't want to hear these licensing issues. And the other thing I'm going to leave you guys with, obviously, is they were saying, oh, PlayStation's copying Nintendo. And I'm not defending. You guys think I defend Sony. Everybody says, oh, well, they added that without the edition part or the classic. You know, they're copying. Did I remind you the PlayStation 1 sold like 102 to 105 million? When's the last time Nintendo ever sold that? The Wii. The Wii. And it was the cheapest console out of the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. It's the only reason. It was a gimmicky console. A lot of parents could buy it for their kids, and it was cheaper. Way cheaper when it came to the Xbox 360 and PS3. Yeah, they sold. Ooh, congratulations, the Wii. How many games do people take from the Wii and be like, oh, we need to have this? I mean, come on, if they do, why are they pulling from the Wii U? Because it didn't sell well and the Wii did? Why didn't they bring some great Wii games over? How many PlayStation 1 titles can I say have changed the culture? I can't. It's iconically changed, okay? PlayStation's won every time. There hasn't. I mean, if you want to count the Wii compared to the PS3 and Xbox 360, I guess they lost once. But like that's like me saying, well, the Nintendo DS sold more than anything. Well, they're also $300 cheaper than every console, and it's a handheld. The point I'm getting at, guys, is we shouldn't let these companies charge us this amount of money for something this lackluster when they've had a year and a half to get it right. They've had plenty of time to bring over titles, bring over games. You want to know why I don't think they're bringing GameCube games over, Nintendo 64 games over? Because I think they're going to be making the Classic. And that's what I'm ending it with. They're bringing back the Nintendo 64 Classic, obviously, because PlayStation 1 just brought it back, so they got to compete. They'll probably do it this year. I don't know when. It may be right before Black Friday. It may be before, a week or two before Christmas, or maybe right after Christmas. Hell, I don't know. Nintendo has a tendency to do crazy shit when they want, how they want, and that's why we got this service how they want it. And the biggest thing I take back is if they don't change the app, if they don't add cloud saves to everything and fix the cheaters online, your service will turn into crap. It will, and a lot of people will go away from it, and you will end up being one of them types of companies that have to literally change everything about your service and literally lose a lot of money because you didn't listen to your fans, not your Nintendo fanboys or your wannabes that just go out there and hype up everything you do. I could shit on a ruler and write Nintendo in it and have Mario and Luigi stuck to it, and people are like, how much? How much, man? I'll give you $400 for it. I'm like, I just shit on a ruler. Like, I 20 bucks, I guess. And I just made 20 bucks. Like, come on. You're better than that. Nintendo, you're better than that. With the Nintendo service and Switch, get it right. Bring it back. Make sure everything's better. And don't waste our money just to make it seem like we should have to pay you to make your service run better. You make enough money. You don't need a... And here's the other thing, and I know I ramble, but here's the other thing I want to end with, guys. Think about this. And I want you to really think about this, and I appreciate for those who have stayed at the end of the video. Really, really think about this, guys. I want this to hit home to you really, really, really hard. I play PC games. I can play any game that ever came out from 1970 up, okay, emulate-wise. And I'm not bragging. I'm not saying I own every game. I'm not saying any of that. I can play all them games. I can play all the Xbox One games right now. I can play Switch games, because it's hacked and whatever. I can play PlayStation 4 games that have came to the PC. Okay? I can play a lot of games that are just on PC that aren't anywhere. And I'm not saying this is bad because I understand how businesses work. But I don't have to pay a subscription service to play any of them games on here. And for those that are out there that are like, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to get the PlayStation 1 console? You want to see something cool? Do you really want to see something cool? This right here, keyboard and mouse, guys. Right here. I want to tell you something. That's a PlayStation 1. That's all it is, man. They're winning money off of nostalgia. It's fine if you're a collector like myself. I did pre-order a PlayStation 1. But think about that the next time you guys spend money on a video game and you buy the console for $300, even $400 or $500 or $600, whatever. And then you buy the game for $60, $40, $30, $20, whatever. And then you go to log in and it tells you have to pay for a PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live, or Nintendo Switch online just to play the game you already paid for, that you could play literally on your PC and not have to pay an extra subscription fee for some garbage. You paid for a fee that doesn't even give you chat, cloud backup saves. You could do all that and play all them NES title games if you have a PC. Hell, a shitty laptop. A shitty PC can run all that. So to me, that's a slap in the face from Nintendo. You better straighten it up. You give us 8-bit games and make us all feel like we're, oh, thank you. I got them already on the Classic. What do I need them online for? There's a reason it wasn't online back in the day. And nobody sent me that, oh, there's a Nintendo with a phone adapter cord Ethernet cable. Shut up. Don't want to hear that? Shush. Because the shit didn't matter. We don't want to play Zelda and have somebody point, this is where you go! You go in the cave and you... I know how to play Zelda. I played it 15 different times on different consoles. Anyway, I love you. Take care of one another, guys. Stay safe. I'm sorry I had to do it. I hope nobody got mad at me for shitting on some Nintendo things. The service needs to get better. I think we all know that. And if you're defending it, you quit being a shameless consumer and supporting these bad habits that these consumers or these literally big time corporation companies like Nintendo, Sony, and even Microsoft are doing to the community. That's why everybody's going to PC for that reason, because they don't have to pay all these extra loopholes and bullshit just to get some bullshit. Anyway, guys, stay safe. Like I said, I love you very much. Take care of one another. Do a good deed, guys. I'll see you back Friday. As always, peace.